Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Thursday, which means it's time for a Magic Live. And today we're going to do another one of the 3 best tricks series. Now, if you've never seen one of these before, the whole idea is I take a particular plot in Magic and I try to highlight to you 3 tricks using that plot or that gimmick that I don't think you might have seen before. Because you see, the thing is, there's so many new shiny things that come out in Magic almost every single day that a lot of people forget the stuff that's been out for a while. And a lot of that stuff is amazing. Now, today I'm going to be talking to you about 3 things with 3 tricks with mobile phones that you've never seen before. 3 tricks with smartphones that you've never seen before. Now, here is my thing with this. I wanted to put together a set of 3 routines using smartphones that you've never seen before that do not require any special apps. So in other words, it doesn't require you to download an app. You can even do this with the spectators phone. Okay, that was my criteria, because a lot of the time people, these days, so many people are doing tricks with phones and it's a great organic thing to use, but it's normally download this app or download that app. And I understand why. There's some great tricks with apps. I use things like Wikitest all the time. However, there's so many other things that you can do that don't require any apps at all. Now, this was actually a really easy series of tricks to put together. And the reason is all 3 of the ones that I'm going to be presenting to you today, I have performed many, many times, and I continue to do so whenever I go and gig. These are real working routines. So we're going to start off with routine number 1. I've talked about it on the channel. I actually got a chance to perform this to my friend Reagan in the office a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to show you some footage of me performing this to Reagan, and then we'll go through why I think it's so good. So the first trick using a smartphone that you've probably never seen before is by G. And I've talked about G on this channel before. His Penguin Live lecture is, in my opinion, the best Penguin Live lecture that there has ever been. And it's just been, a lot of people haven't seen it, but it is so good. And there's so much great material on there. And I remember watching this and seeing this routine, getting absolutely fooled, and then saying to myself, I have to learn that routine. That is something I have to do. Ever since then, I've been performing it. It's such a real working routine. It really is. And it's just ridiculously good. So let's have a look at the footage of me doing it for Reagan, and then we'll talk about it. Right, Reagan, you're going to help me. I asked you to bring your phone, which you have, which is cool. Can I borrow it for a minute?
Of course you can.
Don't unlock it.
Okay.
I do want to tell you something. Have you always had iPhone?
Yeah.
There's always been an Apple. You're an Apple girl, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that the Apple logo right there allows you to do something incredible? It's a hidden feature on most iPhones, and a lot of people don't realize this. So I'm gonna blow your mind right now and show you a functionality of your phone you didn't even know existed. Unlock the phone for me.
Okay.
And we haven't set this up. I haven't took your phone earlier or anything like that. Have you uploaded the new iOS software to this?
I have.
You have? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So you can group things together and you can create widgets and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Not that you've ever done that. We just have a sea of apps. TikTok, lots of TV apps, Netflix, and that's about it really. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hold down on the camera icon. Okay. Which is going to move all of the apps around, right? Yeah. Now, you probably use the camera icon more than anything else because you're all about Instagram, right? Yeah. So I'm going to try and do something that will probably freak you out. But so you understand what I'm doing, I'm going to move your camera icon. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to move it to its own little page out the way. There.
Okay.
Okay? And the reason I'm going to move it there is if there's lots of apps on the screen, it might be a little bit unclear about what I'm doing. So now it's got its own little screen. And the thing is, when these little apps are bobbing around like this, you can move them, but it'll always snap back to where it came from. Yeah. If I move it over here, there you go. If I move it over there, it'll snap back. And if I pull it back this way, it'll go into the previous page. Yeah. That's just how an iPhone works, right? Watch. Luke, you want to get in really close to this. I want to show you something kind of really weird. Do you see your camera icon there? Oh, hang on, I've just unbobbled it. Let me just rebobble it. There we go. Because we're going to try and do something really weird here. Can you see it? Yeah. It happens on 3. 1, 2, 3. I can actually pull that camera icon off your phone. I'm not kidding. There it is. I've actually pulled the camera icon off your phone. Isn't that weird? Now hold your hand out for me because I'm going to try and do something even stranger. I'm just going to lock your phone for a minute. I want you to have a look at this camera icon. done. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I've done.
Get lost.
No, seriously, I've just took a picture. Let me prove it to you. I just need to put the camera icon back on the phone. So hang on, watch this. Kind of goes around about there. Seriously, do me a favour. Turn the phone over, unlock it, and just let's have a look. Is the camera icon back?
Yeah.
Yes, the camera icon is back. But I haven't taken your phone beforehand.
No.
This is kind of weird. Open up your photos and look at the last photo that was taken.
What the hell?
And there's a photo.
I look so
I know.
happy.
You look delighted. Well, I was kind of just holding a little icon in your face. I mean, that's probably the reason. And there you go.
What the hell, Craig?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Told you. Now, come on, guys. Seriously, how good is that? It is such a great routine. If you think about what actually happens there, you borrow a phone, you pull the camera icon off the phone, you take a picture with the camera icon, and then you put it back in. And when they look at the picture that saved the last picture that was taken, it's the picture you took with the camera icon. Seriously, this is my go-to trick. This is my go-to trick when I'm out and about, because I always have a phone on me. Not that I need my phone, but what I always carry in my pocket is a few of those camera icons. Now, I will tell you right now, this is completely impromptu. You borrow the phone. You don't set it up beforehand. People don't know about it beforehand. It's completely impromptu. However, if you're going to do it by pulling the camera icon out, you do need to have some of these camera icons made up. Now, I went to the guy that prints all of my stuff, and I showed him the explanation of G doing this, and I said, look, I want a whole bunch of these. I want a whole bunch of these camera icons made up. And he made them up for me in plastic, and he laminated them, and I tend to lose them, so I had like 500 made up, and they just last me forever. When I go out anywhere, I have a few of these in my pocket. I just throw a few of them in there, and I'm good to go. So why do I love this routine so much? So first of all, like I say, there is no pocket space. It is completely impromptu. I've played around with doing it without even having the camera icons with me, but I do prefer it with the camera icon. But it's completely impromptu as long as you have a couple of camera icons in your pocket, and that takes up no pocket space at all. Other than that, you are good to go anytime, anywhere, completely impromptu. It's also not a card trick, and it's not a coin trick. You know, people are fascinated with mobile phones. People are fascinated with smartphones. When you can do a trick using somebody's phone, especially when it's not your phone, it's someone else's phone, you know, and immediately they're invested in this trick because they understand how their phone works. So you start doing stuff to their phone that just doesn't make any sense, it blows them away. Now, anybody who's performed card to phone, which is an app, and you know, when I put the magic stuff out, the audience management one, and you saw me do the card in the box routine, I finished with card to phone. It's an amazing app. Anybody who does that will know that when you pull something out of a phone and you have an image in a phone that you pull out, it just freaks people out. Another example is Instagram. You know, you just pull something out of somebody's phone. It really is so good. Well, in this case, you're doing the same thing, but you're using one of their icons. It's absolutely insane. It really is. So, you know, you're using their phone, which is real bonus. There's no table required. You can do it stand up. There's no angle issues at all. You can do it completely surrounded. It can be anytime, anywhere. It can be any lighting condition. It will play to a big stage. I've done this as part of a parlor show to 30 or 40 people. Negative, it doesn't work in a Zoom show or a virtual show. That's just something you need to understand. Doesn't really work because the only way to do that is if you use your own phone, and then it's not as good. You may as well use a special app. But you borrow a phone. I was in a restaurant just the other day, and it's a restaurant that myself and Sarah go into quite a lot, and we were going out for a meal. And the waitress knows I'm a magician, and she always comes over and says, hey, do a trick, do a trick, do a trick. And I had literally nothing on me. I'd just come from the office. So I was like, but I always had this thing in my pocket. So I was like, yeah, okay, have you got your phone on you? Can I borrow your phone for a minute? It's an iPhone. It is. Great. Let me show you this. Did this. She screamed. The entire restaurant just turned round. What is going on? This has such an effect on people. It really does. And you know what? When you show that in their phone, the picture that you took with that camera icon is there, is there in their phone, that's just the icing on the cake for them. Now, I will tell you one thing that G does this, and G does this, and I don't do this. What G does is he has a flash device underneath his shirt in his pocket, and when he has the camera icon, he has a remote control flash device. Actually, on the lecture, he talks about how you can make an impromptu flash device using a Bluetooth remote and your own mobile phone, which is really clever. He has his own mobile phone in his top pocket, and he uses a Bluetooth remote control to create the flash, which is a great idea. I don't do that. I don't do that because I don't have my phone in that pocket. I don't want to carry something around like a FISM flash. I don't want to have that preparation. I want to be able to do this anytime, anywhere. And I did initially do this because I have got a FISM flash. I did initially do this with a flash device. Then I tried it without a flash device, and there wasn't really that much of a difference. There wasn't that much of a difference. So I don't do that. But if you want to go on full-on routine like G does, he actually has a flash when he takes the camera, which you could argue maybe adds something to it, or maybe it doesn't. I tend not to do that. But for me, I can't do a walk around gig without doing this about 7 or 8 times. I promise you, when you do this trick out and about, and you borrow someone's phone and you do this and you show it them and they see it, reputation maker right there and then. I've gone to gigs where people have seen me do this and residences and stuff, and they're like, "I'll do that again, show my friend, show my friend." It's one of the tricks. You know when you're at a gig and you get followed around and it's like, "Oh, do that one." The guy that's seen you at the table and he says, "Oh, come over to my mates, do that one." This is the one that people always want to see. And the nice thing is it's very easily repeatable. It really is. And the way that it works is just genius. Now, when I first watched it, I was worried that the method would be slightly too transparent when you're pulling the camera icon off, but it really isn't. It really isn't obvious at all. It just kills. It absolutely kills. So there's no downside to this. It's virtually impromptu, anytime, anywhere. Oh, and the other advantage is I have never met anyone else that does this routine. It's just nobody else does it. I've shown it magicians and they've never seen it before. Laymen have never talked about it before. I've never seen a video of anyone performed it on the internet. You know, we always look for stuff that's kind of a little bit unique that not everyone's doing. You know, that's why I try to stay away from Ambitious Card a lot of the time, because I know so many people do it. It's why I don't do the Omni deck for that very reason. Well, this is something that not a lot of people do. And the only thing that you have to do to make it up is get yourself these little camera icons made up. So this is the first trick using a mobile phone that you've never seen before. Borrow a spectator's mobile phone and you're good to go. It's available at G's Penguin Live Lecture. You can download it now from Penguin Magic. And if you do, there's a whole bunch of other stuff on there that's really good as well. So the second trick using mobile phones that you've never seen before is another one where you borrow the spectator's mobile phone, and this is called Code Breaker by Michael Murray. If you don't know Michael Murray, he's brought out some amazing stuff over the years. Very clever thinker of magic. I think one of the most popular items he's ever brought out is the Solution, which is the behind-the-back Rubik's Cube solve, where the spectator solves the Rubik's Cube themselves. But he's brought so many other things out as well. I do a lot of Michael Murray stuff. Well, many years ago, he released a product called Code Breaker, again through Penguin Magic. This feels like an advert for Penguin Magic at this point. Again through Penguin Magic, he brought out something called Code Breaker, and it was in conjunction with Greg Wilson. Greg Wilson was actually performing the routine on the download. So you get a download for this. It's download only. You don't need a product or anything. So you just download it and you learn the routine. And Greg's actually performing it and explaining it on the download. So it was Michael Murray and Greg Wilson. Oh my gosh, it's such a great routine. And it was really popular when it first came out. And then less people did it and less people know about it. And now I don't see anyone doing it. Let's have a look at the routine. Again, I performed it for Reagan. Let's have a look at the routine and I'll talk about what I like about it. Reagan, we're going to do another trick with your camera. Okay. I don't know your unlock code. Yeah. Is it a 4 or 6 digit? 6 digit, okay. Can you do me a favour? Without me seeing it, can you unlock it for me? Yeah. Very good. Excellent stuff. Now, oh wow, Luke, check this out. Reagan has 23,304 unread emails. If any of Reagan's friends are watching this, if you email Reagan, she ain't going to answer you. It's as simple as that. Oh my gosh, right, okay. Where's your calculator? Is it there? Yeah. There, perfect, okay. We're going to try and do something here. Do you know that there's a hack that allows you to unlock any mobile phone? And it's all to do with the residue that they use on the screen of an iPhone. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to show you. What I want you to do, I'll hold the camera here so that Luke can see it and you can see it as well. What I want you to do is put in a random 6, is it all clear and everything? Yeah. Put in a random 6-digit number, just any random just a random 6-digit number, any random 6 digits. Are we done?
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not looking, I'm looking away. It's important that you can see that. Now hit plus.
Okay.
And now what I want you to do is I want you to put in the code that you use to unlock your phone, that 6-digit code. I love how she's been, there you go. Have you done that?
Yeah.
So the 6-digit code's there.
Yeah.
Now hit equals.
Yeah.
Have you pressed equals?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got a completely random number on the screen.
Yeah.
It's probably like 7 or 8 digits or something like that, but it's a completely random number.
Yeah.
Now just press C once. Just press the C.
Okay.
Are we done? So that's 0, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So here's the thing. Think about what we did here. You put in a random 6-digit number.
I did.
And then you hit plus.
Yeah.
And you put in your password, your passcode.
Yeah.
And then we pressed equal, so we created a completely random number. And then we deleted everything off, right?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Have a look at this. I'm going to unlock your phone.
Okay.
And what I should be able to do, because I can see where you pushed on the screen. So what I should be able to do is if I just do this, hang on. Okay, don't laugh. This is serious. Okay, I think I know what we've got. Hold your hand up for me.
Oh my goodness, Craig.
I'm just going to bring up the unlock thing. So I know the numbers. It's just what order. Okay, I think it's going to start with a 9, 3, 9. What order? 7, 2, 5. There you go. Unlock any iPhone, anytime, anywhere. It's all about your fingerprints.
You're a wizard.
I am. So there you go. That is Codebreaker. Isn't that a great routine? Honestly, when you show that you have the ability to pull information out of someone's mind, especially using their mobile phone, such a strong moment. And the pin on a mobile phone, it's something that people don't tell anybody. And so you're able to immediately get that pin out of their head. Honestly, the reactions are through the roof. When you do this thing and you put the phone in their hand and you press the correct digits one at a time and then the phone just unlocks, boom, it's amazing. Now, I'll tell you on this very channel, before I started taking YouTube seriously and we started actually producing content all the time, this channel was designed just, you know, like most magicians do use YouTube. I just put videos up every so often. And a few years ago, I put a video up going, and it was me performing this routine at a gig. And the heading was "Unlock Any Spectator's Phone by Magic." Hack or something. It's had like 100,000 views on that video because people find this sort of thing fascinating. Now, when you download this, you get a second phase. I didn't do the second phase to Reagan, but you actually get a second phase. And the second phase is you can then give them the phone back and you can say to them, look, we've never met before, have we? I don't know your mobile phone number. What I want you to do is think of the last 4 digits of your mobile phone number. Okay, and what I want you to do is pretend you're putting them into your phone, the last 4 digits of your mobile phone number. I'm not going to look, and you tell them the last 4 digits of the mobile phone number, even when it's somebody's borrowed phone and you've never met them before. Now, I didn't do that to Reagan because it wouldn't make sense, because I know Reagan, I employ Reagan, she works for me, we do the Illusion show together, and I know her mobile phone number off by heart. So to turn around to her and tell her, these are the last 4 digits of your mobile phone number, I don't think she'd be very impressed, to be honest, even though she loves magic. So, but that is the second phase of the routine. Now, this is a true impromptu, anytime, anywhere routine. It's one of the reasons that I love it. It's because you can do it anytime, anywhere. You can literally just borrow the phone and you can go into this code breaker routine. And it is so strong, you know. Again, I was a little bit worried when I first learned it about, is it too procedural, you know, with a calculator or anything? And it's really not. It's really not. It flies past the spectators. But let's look at the pros. Again, no pocket space. You could literally do this naked because you borrow the phone. You don't need to have anything on you. You can do it anytime, anywhere. It's easy to do. You need a little bit of memory, but it's very easy to do. It's all completely motivated in terms of how the routining by Greg and Michael have been very, very well thought out. It'll work walk around, it'll work on tables, it'll work inside, it'll work outside, it'll work on stage. It's just one of those routines that works in every single environment, and it's got such a great hook. You know, you say to people, you know, I'm going to try and take something really valuable out of your head. I'm going to try and take something really valuable. I'm going to try and take something that you wouldn't tell anyone, your mobile phone password, your mobile phone code. I'm going to try and get that. I'm going to try and get that. And in the second phase, I talked about the second phase, how Greg actually delivers that is he actually says, now people ask if I can get the PIN number to their card. I can, but I don't want to do that because I could get in big trouble. So let's take another 4-digit number that I couldn't possibly know. Let's go for the last 4 digits of your mobile phone number. We've never met before, have we? Let's see if we can do that. And it's great. And you know, immediately you give them the phone back and they're freaked out. And I always make the joke of, well, you're going to have to change your passcode now. Everybody knows what it is. But yeah, it's another really strong routine. Now, the downside, and I should have mentioned this with the first routine by G as well, the downside of both of those routines is that they have to be iPhones. So the G routine and Codebreaker, you have to be borrowing an iPhone. To be honest, I don't think that's much of an issue because whenever I've gone to a gig, I always, you know, if I'm performing to a group of people, I've always got somebody there who can perform, who's got a mobile phone. There's always a couple of people there who've got a mobile phone. And if I say, hey, has anybody got an iPhone that I can borrow? If people go no, I go, okay, no problem, let's do something else. Forget about that, let's do something else. So it's really not an issue, but you do need to have an iPhone that you can borrow. But you know, you don't need to have an iPhone yourself. That's the important thing. So there you go. That's the second routine that you've never seen before using a mobile phone. Very strong trick that is. Highly recommended. And when you try it, excuse me, when you try it, you'll be amazed by the reactions because of the emotional hook of taking their information. It actually really freaks people out. So let's have a look now at the last routine using a mobile phone, a borrowed mobile phone that you've never seen before. So the final routine using a borrowed spectator's phone that you've never seen before is something called Curveball by Oz Perlman. My gosh, this is as old as the hills. This is probably 11 years old. It's another Penguin Magic routine and serious and another Penguin Magic download. I honestly feel like I'm doing an advertising campaign for Penguin here, but all three routines that I wanted to show you, that's where you find them. You find them on Penguin Magic. Now this is so old. This is when Oz Perlman used to work for Penguin. I don't know if any of you guys remember the day when every single video that came out from Penguin Magic was hosted by Oz Perlman. He brought out something many years ago called Curveball. Now this is so old, Curveball is so old that it actually was designed to work with a BlackBerry, okay? And then a couple of years later, he came up with iCurveball, which uses an iPhone. And if you look at it, like the phone that he's using in the trailer and the explanation is like an iPhone 3 or an iPhone 4 or something. It's a really old routine. Let's have a look at me performing this on Reagan. And then I'll talk to you about why I like it so much. So Reagan, at this point, I've unlocked your phone. Yeah. Weirdly. Yeah. I've took the camera out of your phone. Yeah. We're going to finish off with some mind reading. I'm going to read your mind. Can you unlock your phone for me? At this point, everybody that's watching this YouTube video knows what the code is, 939725, in case you've forgotten. I'll change it for you. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to go into your contacts. Is that okay? Yeah. Wow, you get a lot of phone calls from Adam. Got a little heart after him. Hey, Adam. Don't mean to worry you about Adam, but Big Rach has also got a heart after her name. I don't know. You may well watch out for Big Rach, Adam. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, no, there's lots of people with hearts. Are these the people that you love? Yeah. I don't have a heart. I have no heart. I'm in your phone without heart. Hang on a minute. I just need to change the edit. Hang on. I'm just putting heart after my name. Hang on. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's cool. So we've got me with a heart on it as well, which is great. I've joined the Heart Club. Anyway, how many contacts have you got? You got a fair few. Yeah. You got a fair few. And obviously, you know that when you open up a contact, so let's use me as an example. When you open up a contact, you've got all the information about that person, name, and so on and so forth. Yeah. We're going to try and do something completely at random. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to use you're going to do a blind scroll. Okay. Do you know what a blind scroll is? Yeah, you're just going to use your finger to go back and forth. So go back and forth. And are you happy?
Yeah.
And then just push up somewhere on the screen. And then where's the lock button to switch the whole thing off? So is that screen off now?
Yeah.
Cool. So hopefully you've now opened up the contact for a random person.
Okay.
I don't want you to let me see at all. Don't let Luke see, don't let anyone see. Just open up your phone, I'll look away, and just tell me, is it open to a particular person?
Yeah.
Is it open to a particular contact?
It's got the message. It's like opened the message rather than the contact.
Okay, but you can see who the contact's name
Yeah.
is and everything in there. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, cool. So can you remember that contact?
Yeah.
That person?
Yeah.
And then switch off the phone
Okay.
and look at me. Okay. So I'm going to try and read your mind. Now think about this for a minute, Reagan. I mean, you've seen me do a lot of magic.
Yeah.
But think about this. This is your phone.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've gone into your contacts. I have
Yeah.
no idea who's in your contacts. You went back and forth.
Yeah.
You stopped on a completely random person.
Yeah.
You then opened up that person and nobody could know it but you. You didn't write it down. You haven't told anybody.
No.
This is just in your head. And I don't even know how many contacts I've got in your phone. You probably don't know how many
I don't
contacts
know,
are.
to be
Okay.
honest.
So what I want you to do is look at me. Now, if I said the statement, this is somebody that you know, that would be stupid because obviously you wouldn't put a random person in the phone. This is somebody you know, but this is somebody you know fairly well.
Yes.
This is somebody you know fairly well.
Yeah.
This isn't like a relative though, is it? This is like a friend.
Yes.
Is it somebody you used to work with?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that popped into my head. This is somebody you used to work in a previous job.
Yes.
In the last job that you did, you worked with this person
Yes.
quite closely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were friends with them as well as co-workers who were friends.
Yeah.
You still see them a little bit now,
Yeah.
but not as much. You've kind of distanced yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called COVID. Let me see. I want you to imagine you're in a cinema.
Okay.
You're on the back row of the cinema.
Yeah.
And the person you're thinking of is there on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And their name is written in neon.
Okay.
What colour's the neon?
Pink.
Okay, so this is a female.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not magic, that's psychology. If you'd said blue, it would have been a male.
Yeah.
You said pink, it's a female. Somebody that's older than you. A little bit older.
Slightly,
Yeah,
yeah.
but not like massively older. We're
Yeah.
not talking like a middle-aged lady at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like sort of late 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you know when you save somebody in a contact, sometimes you've got a first name, sometimes you've got a last name,
Yeah.
sometimes you've got something random like Bob brackets twat or something. You know, how is this saved? Is it a first name only or a last name? Is there a bracket?
First name.
Is there a last name as well?
No.
Okay, so concentrate on the first letter.
Mm-hmm.
It's an L.
Yeah.
It's an L, right? Okay, think of the last letter.
Yeah.
It's a Y.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Think of the whole thing. Imagine it's in the screen right there in front of you. And say it in your head, not out loud, because then I'd know it. Just say it in your head. Lindsay. Am I right?
Yeah.
And the last name's not in there. But
No.
do you know the last name?
Yeah.
It's a shorter name, the last name, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's not in the phone. It's just the first name.
It's just the first name.
But the last name is a shorter name.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the first letter. Can you remember it?
Yeah.
H.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
Lindsay Hall.
Great, Cal.
Told you I'm reading your mind. So that's Curveball, and you saw the reactions from Reagan. It hits, and it absolutely hits hard. What I love about this, it allows me to kind of almost fish for information in a very innocent way. Now, I went back and I watched the download for this. It's still in my Penguin Magic account from all those years ago, just to make sure I hadn't changed it over the years, because I've been doing this for about a decade. And I wanted to make sure that I hadn't accidentally updated the handling, and that, because it came out when iPhones were like first about. And I went back and I watched the whole 40-minute download, and nope, it's exactly as I do it today. So what you just saw with Reagan, that's exactly what you get if you get the download. Now, the thing is, this has been out for so long that people have forgotten about it. It came out as a download when downloads weren't even that popular. It must have been one of the first Magic downloads. And, you know, new things come out over the years, and new ideas and new routines and new concepts, and the older stuff gets forgotten. And this is one that gets forgotten, but my God, is it strong. You borrow a phone, you get them to think of any contact in their phone, no force. You then give them the phone, you don't touch it, they don't write it anything down, they don't say anything, there's no phishing. And immediately you can start getting this information. But the beautiful thing about this routine is that and first of all, it's very clever as to how you get the information. But the real beauty of it is the extra bits and pieces that Oz Perlman includes in the download. How to actually take this from merely a trick to a miracle. Because what if you follow Oz's advice, you'll be able to perform it like I did to Reagan. Where, just by looking at a name, and what you just saw with Reagan, that isn't like a lucky thing. That's exactly what happens every time I perform it. Rather than just getting a name, you're telling them how they know them. You're telling them, how long they've known them, the type of person they are, the age of the person. You can even get further with that. You can go picture the person in front of you. Okay, they've got dark hair and that sort of stuff. You can really go hard with this, and you get the first name, and you saw in the thing you get the last name as well. Now I'll tell you, Reagan had that person saved in her phone as first name and last name, but she didn't realize she did, and you learn why she didn't realize she did in the download. But it is such a strong thing. Again, it's impromptu. You don't need anything with you. Oz uses like a pad, and he writes the information down on a pad. I don't. I do it just as you saw me do it to Reagan, and I just do it as a straight up mind reading thing, and it kills. You don't need anything on you. You can do it anytime. You can do it anywhere. You don't need a table. It can be done stand up. It can be done sit down. It can be done on stage. And again, when you're doing something with a borrowed phone, it becomes stronger. But the thing about this, people even forget about the phone. Because the phone is just used so that you can make a random choice of somebody. They need to think of somebody. Let's make it really random. Have a look at that. Boom, take the phone off me. I've done this at gigs, and people have talked about it afterwards when I've met them, and I've done this for people, and they've met up with me, or they've even emailed me in a couple of situations, and they don't even remember the phone was a part of it. They just turn around to me and they say, oh yeah, I thought of somebody and you told me exactly who they were and everything, and I didn't write it down. They forget that the phone had anything to do with it. But using the phone, it allows you to do this super strong mind reading thing that hits, and it hits hard every single time. And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, it only works occasionally and you got to have balls of steel to do this. It works every single time, and it is so easy to do. You'll look at the download and you'll laugh and you go, is that it? Is that it? Man, and don't overlook it, because you saw the reactions with Reagan, and that's the reactions I get every single time I perform this. Now, I will tell you right now that the 3 tricks that you just saw, I do those 3 tricks as an act. All of the time, I have like a 5 or a 6, 7 minute act that I actually do at a gig with a mobile phone. So I'll start off with a borrowed mobile phone. So I'll start off by borrowing the phone, and I don't do the G thing. The G routine I leave till last. The first thing that I do is I borrow the phone and I do the code breaker thing to get into it. So the first thing that I do is I do code breaker. Then a lot of the time, I'll actually do something else. I'll throw an extra routine in there. I'll use digital force bag, and what I'll do is I'll go on their Safari and I'll say, let me just search for an image here. Let's just say it's Tom Cruise drinking Coke, right? So I'll search for that image and I'll say, great, I've opened it up on the screen. Let's just put that down there for a minute, and I use my phone to do digital force bag, and then I do that as the second revelation, and I go, well, that's really cool. But let's see if I can take it, and I read your mind, I predicted what was going to happen, but let's see if we can go one step further. As we've got your phone, let's see if I can actually read your mind. Then I do Curveball, and I get them to look at a person, and boom, 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 boom. And then for the finale, I say, now what you've seen up until this point, this is kind of mental magic. This is me messing with your head, getting the, getting the code for your phone out of your head, getting the contact information out of your head, influencing you so you get Tom Cruise drinking Coke. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you something completely impossible. And then I finish off with the camera thing, and I'll do it just like you saw me do it to Reagan, but I do that 4-trick set. It lasts about 7 or 8 minutes, and all I need to have on me is a couple of camera icons for the G thing, and I need to have my phone with digital force bag on me in order to do the Tom Cruise thing. And I always carry my phone with me, obviously, and I always have digital force bag on that phone. So I've now got, you know, we talk about this all the time, don't you? You know, it's kind of one of my pet hates in magic is magicians that turn around and say, can you show me a trick? Oh, I haven't got anything on me. You know, they're out and about. They get caught by their friends or family or whatever. Can you show me a trick? I haven't got anything on me. Now, I think that you should always be able to perform a trick. Now, I'm not going to go as far as Jeff McBride. Jeff McBride is like, you're a magician 24/7. I don't think that, but I do think that you should always be able to perform a trick if you want to. I'm not saying you have to. You know, you're not a performing monkey. But if somebody asks you to perform a trick, you should be able to. Well, this 7 or 8 minute set is something that I can do anytime, anywhere. I've got my phone on me, I'm good to go. If I haven't got my phone on me, I just drop the digital force bag stuff. And if for some reason I haven't got my little icons in my pocket, which happened once because my wife washed them, and I didn't realise, and I just put my jeans on and they weren't there, then I just missed that finale out, and I just finish on Curveball, which is still a really strong finale. So there you have it. There you have it. Those are 3 tricks using a borrowed spectator's phone that you've never seen before. So let's wrap all this up. Guys, I don't know how many of you have performed any of those 3 routines before. You know, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but let me know. I'd love to know. Do you perform any of them? And if you don't, why not? Have you not heard of them before? Have I highlighted these to you and you've never seen them before? And if so, are you going to get them? Are you going to do them? And what do you think about stringing stuff like this together into a little act? Like I say, this little act has served me well for many, many years. What do you guys think of that? Which one of the 3 routines, in your opinion, is the best? Which one's the weakest? I'd love to know. I think that they follow each other really nicely, and the strengths and the weaknesses of all of them make one really cool act. And if you have gone out and performed them, let me know what you think. Other than that, guys, please subscribe to the channel. We go live 14 times a week, as you know. So we've got tomorrow, we've got a rant coming up, and don't forget, at 6 o'clock every single day, we have a Magic Live. So check out all of that. Once again, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.